I mean, the piece that we have not yet recorded, but the first draft of the slides is done. I think there's two main issues. One is we underestimate our geopolitical foes. The U.S. is still, of course, a global superpower and perhaps still the strongest military in the world. But we have a lot of bloat. We have a lot of waste. We've outsourced an enormous amount of our manufacturing sector. If it weren't for the energy miracle and the shale patch, the U.S. would be in a far worse position. And the current suite of leaders in Washington, D.C. basically did everything they could to try to stop that. And so I think there's step one is we underestimate our geopolitical foes. And step two is we overestimate our own capabilities. I think it's pretty clear 2 years in that the war in Ukraine is not going as planned, that picking or helping Ukraine when they're so close to Russia and our supply chains are so far away and outsourced, as I referenced earlier, was probably not the wisest move. I think we're now beginning to learn that it's okay to say that we were almost able to achieve peace in the early days of the war and it was scuttled for whatever reason. And 2 years on, the peace that will eventually prevail, because it has to, will be much worse than that deal that was on the table 2 years ago, both for Ukraine, mostly for Ukraine, but also for the West. And then the third is we sort of underestimate the consequences of war. What we did in Afghanistan and Iraq and Libya and Syria, like it feels far away, but to those people it's very real. And it seems like we're, in this escalatory spiral. Now, again, it looks like Iran and Israel were embarking in a fair bit of theater this week. But if that theater had gone wrong, I mean, you're taking enormous risk. Like missiles are being shot near, nuclear research centers from, what are we doing? Like, how did we get here? And how do we take a beat and discuss as a country and as a series of allies whether this might be the wisest course of action? It's very befuddling. I don't have an answer to it. And again, geopolitics and military strategy is certainly things we're interested in, we write about, but it's not our core expertise. But it seems baffling to me that we're just sleepwalking into the abyss.